Hey guys, what's up? This is Bones and Fofo, and you're watching Hashtag Behind Relationship Goals.
And here we go, the start of a new episode. Kasama natin si Soba Doba. Chia is out of the house because she's about to get vaccinated for the final time.
Finally, makaka-groomers na siya.
Pwede na siyang maligo at magpagupit. So we're really excited for that. And then she'll come out on the podcast and we'll show you her new cut.
Yes, but before we get into that, Fofo, we have a topic that we're going to talk about today. What is it?
Yes, the topic that we're going to talk about is long-distance relationships.
Bakit mag-LDR na ba tayo?
Baka, hindi natin alam. But before that, I would just like to share that Sel and Meng, they've gone home indefinitely. And because of that, we're doing all the chores. Washing the dishes, washing our clothes. And dahil dyan, meron kaming mga bloopers. And I think Boneezy can show a blooper right now. For those listening on Spotify or on audio only, Boneezy's formerly white socks are now blue.
And my formerly white tank tops are now gray. They're gray now.
We are unsure whose fault that is. Who mixed the whites and the colored clothings?
But we're not going to put a blame on anyone, and we're just going to remind each other that we should separate the whites from the dark colors and the light colors.
Although probability-wise, 80% possibly Fofo's fault and 20% Boneezy's fault.
I would say it's more like a 90-10.
Uy, grabe naman. 80-20.
Oy,
Ako 80-20.
I really don't mix the whites, Fofo. So
Okay, this will be a podcast episode.
I'm being nice about it by saying 90-10.
I think it's 80-20 and I'm being genuine about that.
I think we have a discussion over here.
Okay, but anyway, let's get to the podcast episode for today, and that is long-distance relationships, because for 8 weeks this year, from July to August, naka-LDR kami ni Bones.
Oo nga, no? Naka-LDR nga pala tayo.
So, Boneezy, did you miss me?
I missed you probably like 1/3 of the time.
Okay.
I missed having conversations with you in person, but to be honest, I enjoyed being away from you.
Okay.
What about
so
you?
I guess to put context before I answer that question, I was in Korea for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I was shooting Running Man PH. So I was housed in a hotel there. So basically LDR nga kami. And to the question, no. I did not miss you at all.
I know. I know that because he told me this. And whenever we would do our video calls, there was one time that he told me, you know what, Bones? And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, is he going to tell me that he misses me? This is going to be a first time. I miss the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
And then he told me that you missed the dogs so much and you didn't realize that you could have this sort of parang sipangs towards them. Para kami separation anxiety
you
with the
reminded
dogs.
me. I completely forgot about that. So,
and he was so genuine about this.
Yeah, so I don't miss Bones. When she goes abroad or when I leave her or we're away from each other for extended periods, it just isn't a thing for me. I don't miss her while she is away. I miss her when I see her na. Parang it's like, oh wow, we were away
Ito
for
yung
so long
feeling,
pala.
yeah.
So ang saya nakasama kita ulit. Pero during the time na wala siya, there's no missing happening.
Yeah.
Except for this time that I actually missed Soba and Chia. Now remember, this is the first time that I've really been away from Soba and Chia alone.
Yeah.
I had taping. I had Love of My Life. We were away for 3 weeks. But because I was with you,
Iba eh.
I didn't super miss Soba.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it much.
And whenever we would also go on vacation,
We were together.
Yeah, so you didn't really
So I
have
think that
anybody to
factored
miss.
into it. Because now that I was in Korea and I was all alone, sobrang na-miss ko yung dogs. And
Iba
that was
kasi.
extremely surprising because that was the first time I felt that feeling. And it's so funny now that I think about it because I felt that feeling towards dogs and not the human being
That you're
whom I
married
got
to.
married to. So that was extremely, extremely interesting. How did you feel about that long distance relationship? How were you here at home?
Well, I was gone also the first half that we weren't together during that LDR stage because I went to the US for,
You were gone for like 5 days.
Yeah, pero syempre, like, hindi ako nakapagbabay sa'yo. Nandun pa rin yun sa isip ko na before you went to Korea for work. Iba eh. Like, when I went away for vacation, parang akala ko nga maabutan pa kita eh. But, I guess, how did I feel? When I was in the US, I was definitely enjoying my time. But we did have this discussion that when I got home to the Philippines and you weren't here, parang masyado ako nag-relax. Like, hindi, wala dun sa missing part eh. It was more like, Fofo's not here, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I mean, I usually do naman when you're here, but I'm more focused on work. So, ang nangyari was from the usual na 80% work, 20% having fun. Naging 80% having fun, 20% work.
I did not know this.
Yeah, diba? You were like, what did you do when I was away? I was like, Fofo, I was watching and I did work, but I wasn't productive with my work. So that was more of like the vibe.
I don't remember that because I was super productive.
Obviously, because you were taping, so you had to be.
Okay, so how do you feel about that, knowing who you are when I am gone?
Like, when you came back, I realized that, okay, it's nice for you to be able to have fun, but I didn't like that I didn't put control on myself. Parang I just let loose and I didn't give myself boundaries for enjoying my personal time. Parang naging puro personal time na hindi ko inisip na, shucks, meron naman pala akong work na gagawin. I wasn't being responsible. So it was more like a wake-up call for me na I shouldn't rely on you to be responsible. I should be able to do this for myself. And I felt kind of bad, actually, kasi ayoko mag-rely sa'yo para doon. And I don't want you to have to feel that.
Ayoko rin na mag-rely ka
Diba?
sa akin.
Ayoko
Hassle
rin
yun.
eh. Ayoko rin naman yun para sa sarili ko. So, parang it was like a big slap in the face na, hoy, Bones, gumising ka nga. Wag ka muna mag-relax masyado. Also think about work. So, yun.
Listening to that story makes me want to go LDR for a long period of time. Because when we're together, I also feel the weight of having to remind you.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. You tell me this.
So now that Boneezy has voiced this out, so I guess we haven't super had this conversation. I
Yeah.
think we had this conversation, but it was just me talking.
Yeah, it's just me listening.
So I want an LDR right now.
Who's gonna take care of the dogs?
Ikaw bahala dun. O, diba?
LDR, pero ako yung aalis.
Oo, hindi. Ikaw aalis. Ako aalis.
Ako?
Okay, so anyway, I guess my point of view now. So my point of view is I was having so much fun. I mean, I was abroad. I was in Korea. There was a lot of time to myself because taping was only twice a week.
A week.
And then there were maybe like a day and a half of social media shoots, meetings, etc., etc. So there was a lot of time to myself and exploring another country, another culture. And for me, that's just a high. It's such a high. So I don't know if this 8-week LDR worked because of, at least for me, because of the situation that I was in.
Yeah.
But think about it. What situation would I be in for me to not want to be away from you? Right? Because for me, any challenge, I mean, it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Like, the work that we were doing was quite difficult. It was extremely tiring. It was physically exhausting. Even my co-runners who were with me, parang they had their challenges. They really had their ups and downs. But for me, for whatever reason, I was just ecstatic the whole time. I was so happy the whole time.
I think it's also because you've been able to travel a lot more than your co-runners. Some of them have traveled more than others, but I think ikaw kasi you've got to have a lot of experience in life. So for you, instead of being scared, it's more like, oh wow, like what is this new experience? And also that's your personality kasi. You're that type of person that finds the unknown exciting.
Yeah. I guess it also depends on the personality.
Kasi if that was me and I would be away out of the country for the first time, and I remember when I did Miss World and we were LDR also during that time, I would just stay in my hotel room.
Yeah.
Because
Although you are a much more different person now.
Yeah. I mean,
Than
I
who
would,
you were then.
I had to force myself to explore because you were like, sayang yung opportunity, nandyan ka na. So parang every day I would take the train and I'd just go around and then I'd go back like after 2 hours. But I still tried to make an effort to go somewhere.
Given that, Boneezy, what are the limits of us LDRing? Meaning, how long can we be away from one another? I'm curious if you've thought about this, and if you haven't, try to think about it and what is your answer? Because right now I'm thinking like 8 weeks was nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking like double that, 4 months, 16 weeks. Yeah, also nothing. I think kayang-kaya yun.
I think half a year would feel really long, honestly.
For you.
Yeah, that would be like, wow, like I can't believe I'm away from you for half a year.
Di mo nakakayanin pag half a year.
Hindi naman sa hindi kakayanin, but I think,
Mararamdaman mo na yung strain.
yeah.
What kind of strain is this?
I think it would be more of parang missing your presence, like in the house, missing, like just you being there, like you physically being there beside me is something that I missed, honestly, when we were like in that LDR stage. So I think kung 6 months yun, medyo malulungkot ako.
So may lonely factor kang nararamdaman.
Feeling ko meron. May lonely factor
But
yun.
during the 8 weeks that I was away in Korea, may naramdaman kang ganun.
While you were in Korea, I didn't feel lonely, to be honest, because I had the dogs. So they didn't make me feel lonely. And during that time, I guess because you know how like we always hang out and like we'll have coffee. I didn't have that when you were away. So I had to like, I went out of my way to look for people to hang out with. Para if ever I felt sad or whatnot, I'd be like, hey, let's hang out. Or I'd message a friend like si Adrian, or I'd message like sina Bree, sina Vic, parang anong gawa nyo? Tara hang out tayo. So yun. And I had some friends come over to the house also. Like sina
Okay.
Sins.
Yeah, for me, I think my limit, maybe 8 to 12 months.
Wow, longer.
Medyo eh. Parang kaya naman. Actually, now that I
Talaga?
think about it, parang, what if, let's say, there was a super big shoot that either you or I had to go to, and it was gonna be a year in the making. May mga ganun, di ba?
Yeah, meron.
If you give me kasi a timeline, and I can kind of mentally prepare for it, I'll be okay. So 8 to 12 months, I think, is okay. But like if they say a shoot, Mick, we're gonna take you away because we're gonna be going around the world shooting for 2 years, I'd be like, oh, whoa, that's intense.
Yeah, I'd be like that also.
That would be a bit intense. Pero parang 8 to 12 months, I'd be like, yeah, okay, game.
Really?
I won't have a problem with that.
Honestly, it feels so long, but I know that a lot of other couples have gone through longer.
Yeah, 8 to 12 months kaya, pero more than 12 months, then mapapaisip ako, I was like, oh wow, that's long.
Okay, so I usually hear about LDR.
That's a long
I know.
distance relationship.
I usually hear about LDR pag mag-boyfriend and girlfriend, but when it comes to husband and wife, it's not common.
As common?
I mean, may nangyayari din na ganon, but it's not as common.
At least from our circles and the friends that we have.
Yeah, but I do know a couple of people that experienced it in maybe like the first year of their marriage because of work and school. Like they were like in graduate school and they had to be in another city. So things like that.
I like the question I posed though. So now that we have our limits, let's kind of like push this boundary. Let's push this theoretically. If you or I had work, sabihin natin, a Marvel TV series.
Wow, sana all.
Or like Rings of Power Season 2.
Wow.
Which is possible because I mean I saw an article on the internet recently where there are diversification requirements now for Hollywood productions and European productions where they need to have like Asian representation, African American representation, Filipino representation. Minsan very specific pa sila. And you can see it. You have like the son of Piola Pascual doing a show.
Inigo, yeah.
You have
Sina
Liza
Liza.
Soberano doing a show. You have James Reid trying to break into that industry. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
So given that, if there was an opportunity, but it would take us away for 2 years? What's the plan?
Go sa opportunity.
Oh, go ka pala. Oh,
Go!
diba?
Kasi feeling ko, hindi naman ako, like kunwari, if I was the one going away or if you were the one going away, I don't think that there wouldn't be a break time in between that.
Yeah.
Na from work. So I do feel like, kahit nasabihin mo na 2 years nasa work tayo, there's always gonna be an in-between where we can see each other.
True.
Diba? So, para siyang Christmas break or parang baka mga Holy Week, yung mga ganong kind of aspect. And, I don't know, parang it doesn't feel like we're gonna be away from each other for that long, especially if we're working. I feel kasi that if we're working, we're so concentrated on one thing. If it's just something na parang bakasyon or parang you're just going away kasi feel mo, iba yung vibe eh.
Yeah, and I guess because the two of us are completely independent, we also work independently a lot.
Yes.
So if there was a 2-year work stint which would require us to be away from one another, I guess you and I would figure out a way to kind of like see each other kahit papano.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
between.
I mean,
And even though it was like 8 months in between, I kind of would be okay with that.
kahit nga yung sa Korea mo, Fofo, 2 months lang naman tayo nawala. But I visited you,
Yeah.
kahit hindi pa tapos yung show mo, and then I went back para mag-hangout ulit tayo sa Korea before you went home. So, I think that maparaan naman tayo pagdating sa seeing each other, and we're very lucky that we have the means to do that. So, I don't know, I don't think we'll be super LDR. Although, I do have a question, because when you were saying that you didn't miss me throughout the 2 months that you were away, if it was that long, do you think that you wouldn't miss me?
How long?
Like a year?
I think a very unique emotion would pop up. I don't know if it's missing. I'm not sure. Like I'm very hesitant to say missing.
Okay.
I think I would be able to elaborate a more specific feeling that revolves around missing. Like maybe there's a particular aspect about our relationship that I would want or that I would crave or desire.
Crave.
Oh.
Desire. What you talking about, Fofo?
Yeah. And then, anong tawag dito? Yeah, I think that's how I would feel. That's actually why it actually piques my interest, because I think it really puts us in a situation where we're forced to feel certain feelings that you otherwise would not. Now that we've kind of like spoken about LDR during this time of ours, I have a hypothetical scenario.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what if there was a girlfriend and a boyfriend, and one of them wanted to leave to pursue better opportunities abroad?
Okay.
However, being the girlfriend, she has work here in the Philippines, that would mean that they would be separated and long distance relationship sila. The problem is neither of them believe in long distance relationships. Yet they do want to be together.
Okay.
What's your take on this? What kind of conversation happens here? Like it's very clear there's better opportunity for one partner abroad. The other partner remains in the Philippines because that partner is already happy and content and fulfilled here in this country.
Yes.
Yet, if that partner does pursue opportunities abroad, they will eventually have to break up because neither of them believe in LDR.
My first question is, why don't they believe in LDR? Is it something that they experience that...
I don't know. Regardless, maybe. So parang put that out of context already because ito na nga yung given eh. Yung given is they don't believe in LDR. So magbe-break sila.
Ako kasi parang, I would go for opportunity.
Okay.
And I think that if I wanted my partner to really grow as a person and really grow as an individual, then they should pursue that. Although mahirap siya, ha? Mahirap for the person staying, in their home country, seeing their partner go somewhere else and feeling mo kailangan nyo mag-break kasi you don't think it's gonna work out. But parang for me, ang hirap pangunahan mo na sabihin mo na hindi mag-workout kung hindi mo pa natatry.
Yeah, I guess
Unless
so.
you're trying to like save yourself from further pain of experiencing, I don't know, like some people are worried about, of course, cheating because somebody's in another
Yeah.
country. They're worried about baka mag-grow apart. So parang bakit patatagalin pa kung pwede naman na before umalis, mag-break na kayo. So ang daming factors and it really just depends on what your priorities are. But kunwari, tayo yon Fofo. Siyempre, ayoko mag-break tayo. Pero for me, you need to pursue what you feel kung saan may opportunity at feeling mo magandang opportunity yun. Kasi ayoko ma-hold back kita.
Hold back kita.
Bakit? I don't wanna hold you back.
It sounds funny. The way
Ano
you said it.
ba?
Okay, I get it.
Kainis.
Is it my turn to answer?
Ang galing mo kasi mag-English eh.
No, it felt like one word. Mahold back kita. It sounded
Spell mo
like
nga,
one
spell
word.
mo.
Okay, anyway, can I answer?
Okay.
Okay, me, I'm very practical about this.
Yeah.
If the one partner decides not to go abroad, there are two things here at play. There's a relationship and the opportunity. Then you forgo the opportunity. The scenario B is very similar to what you said and supports what you say, where the partner should go abroad. Because in that way, if you actually try to say, maybe LDRs can work, then at least, okay, you're pursuing a chance at the opportunity and pursuing a chance of making the relationship work.
Yes.
So both have a chance of happening.
Yes.
Pero if you pursue scenario A kasi where nobody goes abroad, then you'll never know. There's always just regret. And for me, parang if you're not committed to one another yet, if you're still at the stage of just, boyfriend and girlfriend, regardless of what you say, there's still no bonded commitment there. So, para sa akin, there's still opportunity to be had elsewhere. And you never know. Sometimes, relationships, they feel absolutely amazing and then you go abroad, you grow as a person, it changes you, and you grow into something else.
Yeah.
You grow into a person who you never thought you would be, and that person would possibly fall in love with someone else. It's a bit bittersweet,
Yeah.
but that's the reality of life.
Yeah, you
And
never know.
when you look back, you might think that, oh my God, at first I didn't want to leave, but maybe it was the best move for me because now I've found another love of my life during another time in my life.
Okay, so balik tayo dun sa kung mag-abroad ka. Kunwari, diba? Like, what if there was an opportunity for you? Parang, should I be worried about you finding another love of your life?
Hindi, kasal na tayo eh.
Syempre, hindi mo na...
Hindi na, no na. No, for at least for me, parang that's not even an issue. That's not even an idea because the only idea that I have is okay, I'm working away from Bones for 2 years. The only idea that I have in my head is ano ang diskarte ko so that I can see her from time to time. Yun lang. So parang it's weird that you even brought that up because although I'm happy you brought it up, but it's weird that you brought that up because of course not. Why? Because I already said I am committed. Now I turn the table back to you because you brought that up. So what are you thinking?
Well, I'm only thinking this kasi it's a common thought of a lot of people when their partners go abroad. Parang, if your partner will go abroad, parang hindi maiwasan na may mga makilala sila and then baka mamaya magkagusto yung ibang tao sa kanila. Parang nakakapraning yun for the partner who is away. And vice versa din naman. Like pag umalis, paano kung may nakilala and whatnot. But of course, if you're committed to the person that you love and you have that stance and
So what is your stance if
My
you go away?
it's just you, Fofo. I won't have anyone else. Syempre, I am also committed to you, so I won't allow myself to be put in a situation where I will be in a weird position with someone.
Interesting.
In a weird position. That sounds so weird. In a weird situation or an awkward situation that would make you feel uncomfortable. Let's do a recap now about our LDR situation during your time in Korea.
Okay, so I did not miss you. I missed Soba. I missed Chia, but we were cool. My limit is 8 to 12 months. I think that there will be surprise emotions. For you, what's your recap?
My recap is I missed you 1/3 of the time that you were away.
You were irresponsible and lazy.
I was irresponsible and lazy and realized that I need to be an independent woman and not rely on my husband to tell me to get my butt up off the chair. And also, my limit is 6 months.
Your limit is 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when it comes to parang theoretical magjowa, there's opportunity to go abroad and then mag-LDR sila. We both agree that take the choice which gives you a chance to have both.
Yeah.
Even though it's scary and that gives you a chance to not have both as well.
Also, naisip ko rin, parang bakit mo pangungunahan yung relationship nyo, yung end point ng relationship nyo.
Yeah.
Kung hindi nyo pa nasusubukan.
Yeah, tama. Because you never know. What if you stay here and then you still end up breaking up?
Yeah.
So for me,
Might as well go for where the grass
go
is
for the
greener.
scarier choice.
Go for the opportunity.
The higher risk choice. High risk, high reward.
At dahil dyan, hindi na muna kami mag-LDR ni Fofo. We will just stay together always and forever. Well, unless an opportunity arises. Why not, coconut? Anyways, this is Bones and Fofo for #BehindRelationshipGoals. Bye!